This isn't a crime scene. It's a crash site.
I'm a jack of many trades when it comes to aviation, air accidents.
Aviation. Aviation.
When it comes to aviation, air accidents.
Yeah.
Some of our looky-loos are getting a little too close for comfort.
Sergeant, you hear that?
Excuse me.
Sergeant, Sergeant,
Sergeant, you hear that?
Excuse me. It's emblazoned with the logo Veriscript. That's a court reporting company hired to transcribe depositions.
transcribe, transcribe,
Hired to transcribe depositions. Large one. Blow would have killed him instantly. Has the voice recorder been recovered from the cockpit?
cockpit, cockpit,
Has the voice recorder been recovered from the cockpit?
She said that the plane was gaining altitude when the nose suddenly went straight up. It climbed like that for a while, then shuddered.
shudder, shudder,
It climbed like that for a while, then shuddered.
Short-tempered?
No, it's ex-military. Joe didn't have a temper.
temper, temper,
Joe didn't have a temper.
As a matter of fact, yeah, he was butting heads with his boss, Walter Devlin. Devlin's inclination was to settle.
inclination, inclination,
Devlin's inclination was to settle.
That's pilot Joe Newell.
3 souls on board, endurance 90 minutes. Thank
Endurance. Endurance.
you. We have an emergency. ATC Keystar, are you able to maintain altitude?
altitude, altitude,
ATC Keystar, are you able to maintain altitude? ATC Keystar, are you able to maintain altitude? Negative. Okay. Brake.
brace, brace,
Brake.
Mr. Gerard never says a word. The junior partner that you spoke with said that he and Devlin were prone to loud disagreements.
Prone. Prone.
Said disagreements. They said that he and Devlin were prone to loud disagreements. This morning, Hank Gerard doesn't even get a syllable in edgeways.
syllable, syllable,
Get a syllable in edgeways.
He didn't know Hank Gerard was in the cabin?
I'm saying Hank Gerard wasn't in the cabin.
But that's impossible. His body was in the wreckage.
wreckage, wreckage,
But that's impossible. His body was in the wreckage.
Now, Miss Wilson, she tries to calm Devlin. She leads him towards the back of the plane. Now, neither of them knows that there's a 200-pound corpse just...
corpse, corpse,
Now, neither of them knows that there's a 200-pound corpse just... No sign of any crime being perpetrated there. No clarity with regards to our fat friend's facial features here.
facial, facial,
To our fat friend's facial features here. That's how we found you, actually. Saw the Carmanto logo on your shirt, insulin pump on your belt, made a few calls.
insulin, insulin,
Insulin pump on your belt, made a few calls.
I did know him, sort of. I was helping him.
By showing his scalp what the inside of his skull looked like?
scalp, scalp,
By showing his scalp what the inside of his skull looked like?
We argued, I left. I never laid a hand on him. The company knew that that sugar substitute was deadly.
substitute, substitute,
The company knew that that sugar substitute was deadly.
Grip strength, particularly in men. His is so bad he's bought adaptive office supplies over...
adaptive, adaptive,
He's bought adaptive office supplies over...
But, work keeps him busy, focused. Getting to go to support group meetings can be tricky, though.
Stop.
tricky, tricky,
Can be tricky, though.
Stop.
It was new. Hadn't been weathered by the elements yet. First, I thought, well, the city must have trucked it in to offset erosion on the beach.
offset, offset,
In to offset erosion on the beach. But during the course of the flight, more and more granules would get sucked into the filter, clogging it, starving the engine of
clog, clog,
clogging it, starving the engine of... Then it's just a case of concealing the body. Cargo hold made sense, in that the flight was doomed to crash anyway.
doom, doom,
In that the flight was doomed to crash anyway. You recorded an onboard weight of exactly 66 pounds over the weight of the passengers and their baggage.
baggage, baggage,
Over the weight of the passengers and their baggage. Over the weight of the passengers and their baggage.
It's just a mistake with my math.
The same mathematical mistake made again and again.
mathematical, mathematical,
The same mathematical mistake made again and again. Problem was, Hank Gerard caught you in the act. You improvised.
improvise, improvise,
You improvised.
I was nowhere near the hangar this morning. I was with my boss, Charles. His car stalled, so I...
stall, stall,
His car stalled, so I...
You were right. Yesterday, when you suggested I had a certain preoccupation with plane crashes.
Preoccupation. Preoccupation.
I had a certain preoccupation with plane crashes.
Said he needed my help.
It's Glue again. It's worse this time. It's like he bathed in the stuff. He told
bathe, bathe,
like he bathed in the stuff. He told
It's a combination of fresh and salt water.
It's still a bit moist.
moist, moist,
Still a bit moist. You said it was a Camry. Solid, practical choice. But look at this. Full synthetic motor oil.
synthetic, synthetic,
But look at this. Full synthetic motor oil. Used to maintain peak lubricity in high-performance engines. Not the four-cylinder engine of a Camry.
cylinder, cylinder,
Not the four-cylinder engine of a Camry. It's probably why he looks so ill. Fumes are finally getting to him.
fume, fume,
Fumes are finally getting to him.
But I was also very flattered. So eventually we met, so I could coach him on his nuances.
nuance, nuance,
So I could coach him on his nuances. Not in the traditional sense, he drops in and out. Appears at odd moments to make outrageous and highly specific requests.
outrageous, outrageous,
To make outrageous and highly specific requests.
Respectfully, that doesn't sound much like a friendship to me.
Then perhaps you better revise your definition.
revise, revise,
Then perhaps you better revise your definition. He shows up at my flat at night, so high he could barely speak. While I flushed his drugs,
flush, flush,
while I flushed his drugs,
I was going to get stitches. Owen called. I was upset, and I'd used glue on a cut before, so...
glue, glue,
And I'd used glue on a cut before, so...
So we'd pin everything on him and him alone.
That's a lazy bit of framing, if you ask me.
lazy, lazy,
That's a lazy bit of framing, if you ask me. An enormous helping hand. Still. What is it? You look peculiar.
peculiar, peculiar,
You look peculiar.